Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Games to the Max. This is episode 271, and I'm your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me, as always, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And joining us again, awesome to have you, Keith Mitchell. How are you, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on again. I thought I wore out my welcome last time, and you guys didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Couldn't stay away, could you?
Hey, man, well, I like punishment. I play Dark Souls.
That's true. I mean, if you want the variant punishment, that's one of the games you and Demon Souls, you know. So.
And now Returnal.
So that will be one of the big things that we're going to talk about here today. Is both Mark and Keith have been playing Returnal, so that's going to be. We're getting to that really quick. Just wanted to say we were going to have Jens on. He was going to talk about Near Replicant, but he got obsessed with Disco Elysium on Switch and played that for like 5 hours straight till like 5 in the morning.
I think he's in the PS4.
Oh, PS4, okay.
Yeah, but I know it's like a buggy mess in that system, so that's always fun.
Well, hey, you know, I mean, I'm sure it's not like that much better on Switch either. So
I'm sure it'd be worse on the Switch.
Yeah, but I mean, like at least he's enjoying it. That's the important part. So
more than I did.
Yeah, I don't know. That game is that's one of those that's beyond me on that one. But maybe we'll have because you played it like way after the fact and didn't like it that much, so we'll definitely get to have Jens get to talk about it at some point. But yes, so we're gonna be talking about Returnal here. I thought about it with new Pokemon Snap and was just like, you know what? No. So I gotta worry about other things right now. So yeah, I'll talk about another game I might review at some point. But Keith, since you're the guest here, besides Returnal, been playing anything? I know you. I didn't play it too much. I know you spent like a gazillion hours in Outriders. You did a whole podcast on what's going on with it, what's wrong with it. But I know you liked it for the most part, other than the whole problem, all the problems. What did you think on it?
I think for the campaign, it's an enjoyable game. The story is okay. It's not going to knock your socks off. The gunplay, the gameplay is amazing. I love the fact that it lets you have that overpowered ability, that overpowered fantasy, something that Anthem tried to deliver. And I think it did a great job with Outriders. However, the game really tanks once you finish the game. The end game content is not there.
It's just like Anthem then.
It plays better than Anthem. How about that? It's in a better situation than Anthem. It is in a better situation than Anthem. People Can Fly are very receptive to the feedback, and they have been pumping out patches, and they have been fixing performance, and they have been addressing issues. So I can't fault them for that, but I can fault them for releasing the game in the state that it's in. Again, the lack of in-game content is terrible. I mean, challenge tiers. Like, all right, run from challenge tier 1 to 15 and do time runs. And once you finish it, well, you're stuck. There's nothing else for you to do. There's no like strikes like Destiny. There's nothing. It's just do these time runs, and they get boring really fast. And once you start to surpass them, then you just start going to compete against other people to see who can do the most damage in the least amount of time. That's boring. The online state, again, as I mentioned in my rant, is terrible. I don't understand how they can release a game and give you an online component and randomly jump those you into a random game where people could be AFK in a buggy game, in a laggy game, or not even let you select which location you want to go to. There's no server browser list. There's no dedicated server. So if the host either drops off or gets pissed off or whatever, you could be. I mean, I had an instance where we did fantastic. We were doing so great. We were going to beat the gold timer, and then something happened to the host, and all that work gone, completely, totally gone. No gear, nothing to show for it, gone. That was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, I am done with this game. I am not playing this game anymore. They need to do something about this.
Yeah, I would be totally just disheartened at that point. You go through all that time and then lose everything.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's right up there with the inventory wipe bug which is finally fixed, thankfully. But how many people went through that? I mean, I had an instance where I loaded into somebody's game and I sat there because I was like, wait, my gear is completely gone. And I was going, oh my God, if I lost all my gear, I'm going to lose it. But it came back within 2 minutes. I'm like, all right. But I dropped out of that game. I was like, this is crazy. This is bad. I don't lose all the gear that I spent my time and effort playing to get all this stuff. So it's a good game. If you're playing solo, have fun, knock it out. If you don't have an issue with the lack of endgame content, then okay, fine. But if you do care about that, you care about online, and you want something other to do than just time runs, I would probably just wait. There are better games out there right now.
Yeah.
Have they said anything about like promising any kind of DLC or expansion or anything like that?
They haven't said anything. They haven't said anything. And I think that's smart on their part. Right now, they should be fixing all the issues. They just released a major patch, which still doesn't address all the issues. There's still quite a bit of mods that are broken. For example, I play a Devastator, and I use a bleed class or a bleed build. And there's a specific mod that I use that allows me to do a certain move and inflict blood damage onto an enemy. However, it's called Bloody Crush, but it doesn't work properly. And we've been telling these guys for weeks, hey, this doesn't work. They released this major patch, and it's not in the patch. It's like, are you going to fix this? That negates a lot of our damage. Could you please fix this? Again, another problem with this game is I don't know who else has played the game, but the crafting system, the modding system, when you put a mod into a piece of gear, you have 2 slots. One of the slots becomes locked. The other one, you can keep changing mods to your heart's content. So I have a piece of gear for my Devastator that benefits from this particular ability, and it's locked. And I built this piece of gear all the way up. So now this gear is useless to me because, hey, that mod does nothing until they fix it. Yet another reason why I'm not playing this game anymore.
I mean, every online game goes through that. Like Division 2 had those same type of issues.
Do you think they just didn't expect once they made the Game Pass deal that they were going to get this many people all of a sudden? Or
I really do blame Game Pass, and that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. That's more people playing your game. But when you're having authentication issues, I mean, this goes back to the developer saying, hey, we're not going to put dedicated servers to the game because we don't think the game's going to do that well. And lo and behold, hey, look, it did great. Well, it did great. And I say did because every day I'm watching the number of players on Steam slowly drop, literally dropping.
I mean, when it's a combination of the server problem, you're saying that there's not any really in-game content that's worth it at all, and they just basically want you to move up in world tiers to make it harder for yourself.
Well, the challenge tiers, yeah, that's it. Like, here's a good example. So when the game came out, it peaked at 93,000, right? And then a couple of days later, April 4th, it hit 124,000. As of today, it is at 25,000 peak.
Yikes.
It's lowering. Right now, there are 19,000 people playing the game on PC, on Steam alone. That ain't good.
No.
And it's going to keep getting worse because they keep doing things that people aren't asking for. Like a good example is they kept saying they were going to nerf there's a way to collect legendary items and you can repeat the quest. And they're like, we're going to nerf that. Well, a lot of people were doing this to get the certain legendary that they want. And now that you nerfed it, that means less people are going to be playing the game because they're like, well, I can't get this and I can't get this doing the challenge tiers and I can't get this doing the world tier. So why am I playing this game anymore?
Yeah, because there's people that love to just legendary hunt, and that's the reason they're playing it, and then
you just took it away. So it's Outriders. I have shelved it. And I'm sorry for that long rant. Other than that, surprisingly, I just started playing Resident Evil 7. I've never played it. I'm trying to get hyped up for 8. I mean, I shouldn't say trying to get hyped up for 8 or Village because I am hyped, but I want to go through 7 first. And 7 is not a long game, so I'm going to run through that and play that a couple times. I have a copy of Nier Replicant. I am a big fan of Nier. I love Automata. I picked up the Japanese version first, then picked up the North American version, then picked up the PC version. I really love that game. So I'm going to run through that when I get some time. I just need vacation. I need a vacation to sit down and play all these games now.
And it's going to get worse.
Yeah. We got Village coming out in a week. Ratchet and Clank's coming out June. I know I'm missing something else.
Remaster.
I'll be honest. I'm not really looking forward to that. I played through all Mass Effect multiple times. So.
That Nocturne remake or remaster.
Which one?
Yeah.
I'm
Shin Megami Tensei.
Nah, not my cup of tea.
I will say I'm gonna replay Final Fantasy VII remake with the new graphics and the Yuffie DLC.
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for it was integrate. I'm waiting for that. I'll play that, but it's not a rush. I'm disappointed that they're like, hey, we're going to give you this side quest instead of just giving you the second part of the game. Like, no, just give me the second part of the game now, please.
Oh well, I mean, we're probably going to be waiting like another year or two for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at this list to see what else is coming out because I know I missed a couple games. I am going to play through Metro Exodus Enhanced just because it's ray tracing and I'm a big PC nut. I don't want to see how it looks with all the ray tracing effects. That looks good. Oh, I will go back. I have been playing another game. It's called Scavengers. It is a battle royale for a PC.
Yeah.
That tosses in PvE and PvP elements. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. And of course, the sleeper hit, Capcom Arcade Stadium. I'm looking forward to that because a lot of old arcade games I love to play back in the day are coming. I want to play that on my PC.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't like the fact that it's like buy certain games and then buy more.
Yeah, I don't like that pack idea, but that's what they're doing. Hey, pay to play.
Yeah, I know when they announced it, I was kind of like, okay, cool. So all these games are going to be together and you get to play them all. I'm like, nope. I'm like,
But I love the fact it's just all those games are now they're hitting that, hey, we're going to bring out more games for you. So let us know what games you want. All right, I sent an email to them saying, I want Red Earth and I want Magic Sword. And I went, all these other obscure games that you've forgotten about, put these on here, please. Give us Darkstalkers, please.
Oh, Darkstalkers would be awesome if they put on.
So, yeah. I mean, now that I thought about this, a lot of stuff. But yeah, I've only been playing a couple of games. I've been, to be honest with you, last couple of weeks, I've been in a very dark place due to mental health. Mental health is something that you should watch out for. It'll kick you in the butt if you're not careful.
Oh, man, I've been there. I've been there.
Oh, man. So it is not fun.
No, it's not. I'm glad you're feeling better though, and back to yourself a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm doing better. Know what helped me with that a lot was sleepy time tea. Oh my Lord, I was looking at all these drugs that I need to take so I can go to sleep, and somebody was like, "Won't you try some sleepy time tea?" And I'm like, "Does it really put you to sleep?" And like, yeah, it does. So I tried it, and like within a half an hour, I was gone. I was like, "Yep, this works. Thank you. I can get some sleep now."
There you go. I usually drink some chamomile and that works for me, but yeah.
My wife used to drink all the time, and I was like, that doesn't work. I'm a believer now. Thank you. I'm very much a believer.
Hey, plus it's good for you.
Yeah, so, and it's not all these drugs in your body. I'm good. I am good now. Once I finish this, I'm gonna drink a cup and go to sleep for like good 8 hours.
Well, I'm if we don't help you get knocked out before then, that tea definitely. Mark, anything besides Returnal before we get to talking about it?
Yeah, you picked me up Puyo Puyo too.
Yes.
That's more Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Well, you love that game, so
I'm the big Tetris guy, and I still don't quite get Puyo Puyo, so I play those stages and kind of barely pass them, and then I'm like, all right, now to move on to the real game when I play Tetris.
Does that one have both as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny because it switches back between constantly, and then Puyo Puyo, well, they both have score 4,000 points to get a gold medal, and I'm like, Tetris, I can knock that out easily. Puyo Puyo, I get 1,000 points, and that's about it because I suck at the game.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, at least you're good at one of them.
Yeah.
That Puyo is a whole different Ball of Wax. I
mean, I understand Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo more than Puyo Puyo. That makes somehow more sense to me, even though they're kind of the same game. Except, Puzzle Fighter has, power gems and Puyo Puyo doesn't. But that makes it a better game, also. So, bring back Puzzle Fighter.
Have either one of you played... Did anyone you play either of those demos for Village, or...
I played the first one.
I played the main one when it first came out, but I skipped the one last week or 2 weeks ago. What was it? Castle, was it?
Yeah, it was Castle, and then they had another one.
That one's coming out, isn't it this weekend? Or it was something. I skipped whatever it was. I skipped them both. I only really wanted to play it on PC, and even then, I'm kind of like, no, I want to go in completely blind.
It's weird that you get exclusivity for a demo. It's like,
oh, don't even get me started with that nonsense.
Well, it's funny they have it for like PC because like people can crack those like timers pretty easily. So it's like, why even bother? You know, like
that, and the problem with when they put demos out for the PC, sometimes it has a lot of the full code in it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
People data mine all the stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find out a lot of stuff about the game like way before they want you to. So solve that problem there.
I kind of hate that with the PC scene. It's a given evil. It always happens. So you know it's going to happen. It comes out what, May 2nd? I think it is 7th. So wait, no, not the game. I'm sorry, the next demo for the PC.
Yeah, that'd be tomorrow. Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But I will definitely give it a look, just to do a article on the performance of the demo and what people can expect for the full game on PC.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mark is excited. I know you guys are both excited for it. I'm still waiting to see if they're going to send us a code or not. I
just want to get stepped on. No, not really. I'm kidding. I just find it funny that people are doing these things like, guys, really, it's a game. You need to relax.
Yeah, plus
just chillax.
You know she's going to turn into something that's like freaky, and it's not going to be.
It's a Resident Evil game. It's like, come on, guys. You still want that to step on you after she transforms? Then you have problems.
How come people didn't feel this way about the creepy little kid in Resident Evil 4? The internet wasn't ready at that time, I guess.
No. But I'll just get into the one game I've been playing for you guys. Get on with it. So like this indie game called Retro Machina that has a demo on Steam. You can go download. And this game reminds me a lot of. I was saying it all day, so I wouldn't go to this right now. But there was an indie game that came out. Whichever. Either way, this game is like a little puzzle. It's like a puzzle action RPG. So you have to solve puzzles at certain times, and then you just fight little robots and things like that. And it has like this like cool like Fallout aesthetic as well. Like you're in this like post-apocalyptic world, and like there's these. It reminds me of Fallout because there's these big like billboards with like robots on them, and like, hey, this robot does this, and then you can go and actually control the monsters. And then when you hit one of the other monsters with it, it tells you about that monster, and it has that cool aesthetic with it. It's like it's an indie game. It's very has a cool it's like very side scrolly and all that. But I was just enjoying beating up boxes and beating up monsters and having to figure out these puzzles. So I might consider high reviewing it when it comes out. So if anybody's interested, Retro Machina indie game, you should go check that out. So let's get on with it, guys. It's the game everybody is talking about. I swear my timeline, every time I scroll, there's someone talking about Returnal, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, whether it's they should let you save before 3 hours, the game is crashing on me, or this game is great. Where are you guys falling on this? How far are you, Keith? Have you made any progress?
I played it the night before last night on stream, just because I was playing for a friend and he was watching me play and yelling in my ear as I was playing the game and telling me what I should do. And I started late, so I didn't get to play as long as I wanted to. And as I mentioned, I didn't get to play it all today, so I will be playing a lot of it today, which is May 1st, when I wake up. I have been following a lot of the drama regarding the game as well. And I gotta be honest, I do agree with them. The people that are saying the game does need to have some kind of a save system. I even thought of an idea about that myself, just because, I was thinking back to when I was younger and I played on systems like the Nintendo Entertainment System and Sega Genesis and whatnot. And those were systems, they didn't crash on you. And now we're on these consoles now where you can be in the middle of a game and it just crashes on you and it goes, oh, well, there goes all my work. And there's nothing worse than playing a game like Returnal, any kind of roguelike, that you're in the middle of something and you got to get up and go eat dinner or go to bed or your cat's on fire or something like that. And you can't, because you simply can't. There's no, you sure you can pause the game, but there's no save system. There's nothing. Or you got to go to bed, or, you want to get up the next day and continue. And hopefully your PlayStation didn't, crash on you or whatnot. So I do believe that this does need to have some kind of a save system, just because of how the game is structured. But I'm really liking the game. I like it. I think that sometimes it's too hard. And I don't mean hard as is difficulty. I just hard as in the RNG. The RNG is a pain at times. It's kind of like other roguelike games. One I think is very familiar to is Curse of Dead Gods, where it gives you some really nasty debuffs, and it's like, all right, have fun, keep going, and you get them in this game. And it's like you get some like they call them malfunctions, and it's like you got this one. This is great, but if you fall, you're going to take damage, or if you pick up an item, you're going to take damage, or you can't melee anymore until you kill these people. And it's like, okay, wow, you're just really hurting me. I had got one the other day when I got to the boss, and it was what did it do? What was it? I couldn't pick up weapons. I couldn't pick up any weapons. I was like, I'm stuck with this rinky-dink poor gun. This is terrible. So the RNG is really bad. If you get good RNG, then fantastic. But if you get bad RNG, it's just like any other roguelike. Enjoy your suffering. But it has a really great story. The story kind of borders on I don't want to say horror, but suspense. It's a suspenseful tale. I really like that. The gameplay is good. I think House Marquee has put a lot of their past experiences into this game because they used to do a lot of great arcade games, and you can really see it here. The art design is great. The music, the sound is fantastic. The atmosphere is so good. This is right now one of the main reasons to get a PlayStation 5 if you like these kind of games. Obviously, the next one will be Ratchet and Clank, but this one right now, this is why everybody's talking about this game because it is really the first great PlayStation 5 game. Well, no, back it up. Second, first being Miles Morales.
Yeah,
if you consider that a full game. Because it's really short, but
and I mean technically it's on PS4, so I think people were looking at Returnal as like, okay, there's that first, aside from Demon Souls,
yeah.
Which I mean, I guess this is the first one you can't give it flack of like, well, Demon Souls is a remake of a PS3 game.
Yeah, and that was the thing with Demon Souls, like it's a remake, and like, all right, come on, really, we're going to do this, but it's a remake.
When you get into those stupid wars, you got to have something to get mad about. So.
I suppose. Yeah. And those words are stupid. Very stupid.
Yeah, I agree there. But I mean, like, it seems that I'm seeing a lot of people say, man, this game is super hard.
I'm on the opposite end. I kind of find it easy.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's just the RNG. The gameplay itself is not hard.
Like, I beat the first two bosses. The first boss is challenging just because he has kind of a lot of moves. I did like 7 or 8 times and I beat him. And the second boss is like, I took like 3 times and I beat him like the third time. And I'm like, all right. Like, it's hard to get to the bosses, but once you get to them, it opens up a path to get to them quicker, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then, I think it's fine. Or it's not like Dark Souls. It's not like, it's kind of bashing your head up against the wall for 2 hours on a boss. It's like, no, these bosses are kind of easy.
I think the thing that you're running into is there's a lot of people that either you're thinking, okay, this is going to be like Hades, and it's not, and then you have a lot of people that have never really played a roguelike, and they're playing this because it's the big PS5 game, and
that's their fault.
Yeah, they don't understand how what I'm seeing a lot of is if you're patient, like what you were saying, Keith, of just waiting until you get the good stuff and being kind of slow, don't rush to get to the boss. You have a better chance of making it than if you rush to get to that red door.
I rushed through everything. I was rushing nonstop. I was like, I'm going through this as fast as I can. But I play roguelikes, so I know what to expect.
I do the opposite. I go very slow in that game, so that's why I find it pretty easy because I just hang back and hold up against the wall, so enemies can't really touch me.
Another funny thing about this game is also, with the exception of certain rooms, even if you go into a room and there's enemies, you can draw them away and make them come to you. You can go through a door and wait for them to come to the door. The enemies in the game, for the most part, are very dumb.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's like, I'm like, how is this hard? They're literally coming to me.
How does the shooting and all that feel in the game?
I love it. I love the shooting.
I think it depends on the weapon, but there are some really good weapons in that game.
The assault rifle, the carbine, I love that. That's a good weapon.
I forget the name of it. There's one that shoots out pylons that lock the enemy to the plate, or they don't lock them, but they shoot out energy beams at the enemy. That's how I beat the 2 bosses, because that thing decimates bosses really well, because it just applies a damage over time effect. So it's all right, I can just keep shooting the boss and it keeps dealing damage to it over and over. So that's cool.
I also like the sword. The sword is actually really good. I can use that in combination with the gun. I actually prefer using the sword a lot too.
This game, it really reminds me of Remnant from the Ashes. Just with
it does
better shooting.
Yeah, Yeah. That's a good game to relate it to it. It actually does play a lot like Running from the Ashes.
But
But
there's
the
no like.
gunplay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it feels better. Like it actually feels better because it has that haptic stuff in it. It controls better for damn sure because Remnant like was kind of clunky. Like this game, you feel like very fast and mobile, and it also doesn't have like that AI director stuff, or surprise enemies necessarily. Like in a given room, you'll probably find enemies, but it's not like there's no like AI director to swarm you with enemies like one particular time. There's like 5-10 enemies per room. That's about it.
I will say I don't like the surprise rooms where you go around the corner and you go, hey, there's an item. You go up to the item and they go drop you through the floor and go, oh, hey, there might be cool stuff down here. There might be a harder enemy down here. Good luck. You don't know what you're gonna find.
Yeah, most of those are pretty beneficial. But yeah, I have run into a few where it's like it drops you into like a surprise room and it's like, oh, there's some super armored enemy in here I've never even seen before. Good luck.
Now, with the main functions in there, remember I was mentioning about the debuffs? I had one that said if you fall from long distances, you will take damage. And what happens when you go to those surprise rooms? You fall into them, which means you take damage automatically. That is terrible. That is so bad.
See, I'm not using most of those malfunction things, like the corrupted items, that much. Like, I get them occasionally, but like I just kind of ignore them. I'm like, I know this is probably isn't going to work out well for me, so let's just ignore it and move on.
I want to get back to this game so bad. I'm really hoping that later on today, my wife and my kids just leave me alone and let me just play the game. It's not going to happen. But
have you seen the first boss yet, or no?
Yeah. I got to him. I've only got 3 hours into it, so I got to him, and I almost got him down, and then I died. I was like, all right, fine, I'm going to go back into him again. But I didn't get half the weapons that I needed to go after him the second time. When I got to him the first time, I had like a pretty decent level 3 weapon, and I was good to go. I got him to him the second time, and it was like a weapon level 2, and I was like, this isn't going to work.
I mean, the weapon levels are pretty actually inconsequential, I found, because like the moment you get to the next area, you basically get an upgrade for like 5 more weapon levels.
Yeah. So could I say one thing I don't like about this game, and I thought it was really weird? So, during the game, I was low on health. I figured, I'll go back to the main ship. In the ship, there's a bed. You can lay on the bed. The ship does not give you back your health when you lay in the bed. And I'm like, wait, every other game does that.
It did for me. I did that once.
I didn't get any health. I was like, why am I not getting health? It was so weird.
Maybe you're too far down or like too low. Because I did it like when I only had like a sliver gone. And I rested, and then I got kind of right back. I'm like, all right, cool.
I know I found some of the rest areas in the game where you can lay down and get your health back. But yeah, the ship did not give me back anything. And I was like, wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
No, that is weird. Almost, like you said, almost any other game that has something involving a bed.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, But yeah, this, for me, is the sole reason to pick up a PlayStation 5 if you can find one. And if you like these kind of games. For me, though, it was it was Demon Souls. But outside of Demon Souls, this game is great.
Would you recommend it to people? Like, okay, so I liked Hades, but obviously Hades we're talking about like a $15, $20 game. Returnal is $70.
I cannot recommend that. I cannot recommend the game. And it's weird because I'm saying it's great system sell. It's a great game for a PlayStation 5, but I don't think it's worth $70.
So you would say if you're not like a huge roguelike fan, wait.
No, do not.
It's like 40 or
just wait. Yeah.
Okay. I would say it's worth it, but like you have to really be into either sci-fi games, roguelikes, or like shooters. So,
exactly.
Like, Jens was like really wanting to play it, and I'm like, this is not the game for you. Like, you don't like roguelikes. You're not like a huge shooter fan necessarily. I mean, he likes bullet hell, like Nier Automata stuff, but that's kind of about it. And I'm like, you may not like this.
Yeah, like I like some of, I like Nex Machina, and I liked Resogun.
Nex Machina is amazing. Yeah. I'm so mad, and this is just me, that's the only Housemarque game on PC. Housemarque. I'm like, come on. We need more Housemarque games on PC, and that is the only one. I'm so sad.
I wonder if, Sony with that continued push to PC, maybe they start reaching out.
It would be nice to see.
Like, how is the movement? Like, I'm watching video and stuff. I see people having to be really fast. And like, do you feel like you have to know what you're doing with that head? Does that haptic feedback or any of that get in the way? Or
Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, when you first start out, the enemies are very simplistic and they shoot at you, and you can take advantage of the velocity. You can either go below the bullets or jump over the bullets, and your dash is invincible. So you have all the tools there to get through the game. Some enemies you do need to read a lot, like the bosses. You definitely need to read because some of them are very fast. So you got to predict what they're going to do. But for the most part, not. The game plays great.
Well, you talked about the story, Keith. Mark, have you gotten to like the house?
Oh yeah, because you find that I've gotten up to the third level of the house or the third area because like you go through it once, just normally, and then it locks until you beat the first boss. Then it unlocks again until you beat the second boss. So yeah.
Okay.
I call it it's like the PT areas. That's what I called.
Do you like? I know Keith is saying he's sort of intrigued. Like, do you feel like it does a good job of?
It's okay. Like I think I've seen too much sci-fi, so I keep thinking of like 12 Monkeys or like Live Die or that Tom Cruise movie where he kept dying over and over. But yeah, she's an interesting character, and that's keeping me like invested so far. And you find her logs like constantly, which is nice.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. So like, there's a lot in there for that.
I think it has a better story than Outriders does. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, I don't know what that's saying much, but
it is a good story.
Yeah, I mean that's good. That's good that there's a lot there, and that I know your stance on it is that there should be no games that cost $70, but
I wouldn't say no games. I mean, if it's a lot of content and it's a very long game, and maybe it comes with something extra, then yeah. But I mean, I was gonna buy it. Yeah, I got a code, but I was gonna buy it because this kind of game is my jam. I like these kind of games, so I can justify the $70 or the $60. There are a lot of people who just don't like this kind of game and they just want to play it and are not sure if $60 or $70 is worth the effort. I always adhere to the policy that if a developer can put the time and money to make a decent game, I can put my money down to play their game.
Yeah, I'll agree on that. So you don't think that Ratchet and Clank will be...
That game can be $100 and I'll buy it.
Okay. See?
Well, it comes down to like a money versus hour proposition. Like, I mean, I don't care about the length of this game, really. I mean, it could be 10 hours, it could be 60, but it depends on how you want to justify that to your own wallet.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is like, there were some people that I made the comment of, I'm fine with everybody trying to have their own worth argument, like what's worth something to you or whatever, but I hate that argument of like, well, if a game's 5 hours, it shouldn't cost as much. It's like, well,
I mean, talking about the Call of Duty fans.
A lot of like if you don't play multiplayer, a lot of these shooters, that's the hour length of the single player, and that costs $60.
That's one of the reasons why I stopped playing a lot of first-person shooters. If it doesn't have a story, I like to go and pick it up, which is why I have not purchased a Call of Duty game in quite some time.
The last one had a story. It was a bad story, but it had a story.
Advanced Warfare was good.
Yeah, but that was like 5 years ago or 7 years ago.
Before Kevin Spacey decided to go ruin himself. But that's another thing entirely. But speaking of, since we were already there, the state of play that they had this week was 15 minutes of Ratchet and Clank stuff. How hyped are you now for this game after seeing all that gameplay?
I didn't need to see the gameplay. I was already hyped. I mean, the state of the play, they should just say, you know what, this is all Ratchet and Clank. Oh, we showed Among Us and we showed Subnautica for a couple of minutes. And all right, Ratchet and Clank, let's go. I watched the 4K gameplay after the fact, and it was like, oh my God, this looks so good. I am sold. I'm already a big Ratchet and Clank fan, so I was one of the people waiting for a decent Ratchet and Clank game. The last one was not very good, and here we go. I will say it does. Part of me does feel that this is a rough break for all the Ratchet and Clank fans out there, because you need to have a PlayStation 5 to play this, and you're not going to find a PlayStation 5 for obvious reasons. So this one hurts. This one really hurts.
I thought it looked fine. I'm not really sold on the Rivet character.
Why?
I just get flashbacks of Crystal from Star Fox Adventures.
Oh no!
Oh man!
And I'm like, this is bumming me out. Like it's not like Or I get like Pookie from or not Pookie. What's the dog from The Simpsons?
Oh God.
That Homer voice. Like Poochie. That was it.
Yeah.
It's like this is a Ratchet and Clank game. I don't need some like third character.
Well, no,
I mean, she looks functionally the same as Ratchet. Like, don't get me wrong, but it just like feels like super, like kind of weird.
Well, I mean, but that's what they're trying to do here is, he's on a quest to go find Ratchet. She has Ratchet, Clank. She has Clank.
Yeah.
And you're trying to go, find him. So, and why not? Like, Ratchet should find that there's a girl, Wombax out there
who's missing an arm. Interesting.
Yeah. What's the story going to be on that? Like, and I like that they apparently like work with each other of, oh, hey, because we found this other Lombax or whatever, you get hit stuff too.
Isn't this a story from like Dragon Ball Super?
Well, the less we have to bring in story from Dragon Ball Super,
Like the fact that the Saiyans are all wiped out in our universe, but in the other universe they're all healthy and fine. And it's like, hey, now they're girl Saiyans too.
That was years and years of people saying, we want female Super Saiyans and Saiyans. And I was like, no, I get you, but just leave it alone. Never mind. Too late.
I'll get that game. Like, it looks good. Like, don't get me wrong, but when I see the character, I just think like Crystal over and over. Like, oh man, please no.
I just like the gameplay and seeing all the just seeing how all the rifts you're going through and how fast that is. I just want to be able to like experience that and like what that's gonna mean and
Now they just need to make a sliders video game.
I would love if Sucker Punch could bring back Sly Cooper, but
yeah, keep dreaming. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
Didn't they also do Infamous?
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Well, but they pretty much said they were kind of done with Infamous. Like, they're not going to do another one of those. I guess with Sly, it's almost like asking if Naughty Dog would do another Jack and Daxter. It's not going to happen either. So they are totally beyond that. That would have to be like a Blue Point joint or something.
Or a Toys for Bob joint. Oh, wait.
Well,
that hurts.
It certainly does. That's the news that hit today, along with another piece of news we'll talk about. But so Activision came out and stated that there apparently was not any job losses, although one of the folks that was reporting on this that worked at the studio says that anybody that he interfaced with was let go. So don't know if that's Activision trying to lessen the blow on the story or who's being truthful here, and he just doesn't know, and he's just saying certain things that he doesn't know it for the fact of.
We all know how truthful Activision is.
Yeah, I don't believe anything they say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There was 2 people that came up and said, I no longer work for Toys for Bob. So
no, and I mean, and the big thing is when you're the 2 of the big people that worked on Crash 4, the art director and the game designer, leave of their own volition. I think that says something right there.
It's a damn shame. It is a shame that they went on to craft some amazing games, with the pinnacle being Crash Bandicoot 4, a game that people have been asking for a long time. The game does well, and then Activision goes, oh, hey, now you're going to work on Call of Duty. I mean, I think every studio is working on Call of Duty there, with the exception of Blizzard.
Give it time. They will.
And they already removed Vicarious Visions to go work on Diablo 2.
Yeah, so this is ridiculous. You've gotten rid of the teams that did great independent stuff to go ahead and push out more of the same crap. More Call of Duty, more Diablo, which I do not think is going to do well. Most of the big people that worked on Diablo are gone from Blizzard. Blizzard is a shell of its former self, and I have no faith. I have no faith at all that Diablo 4 is going to be good. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I do. I hope I am. But the way that Activision is running this ship, it really bothers me.
It'll be full of like microtransactions, like buy new gear for $1 or something like that.
I don't know what they're ever going to do. I mean, I guess they don't have to worry about it until it happens, and this could be, years down the line.
I think about like when Call of Duty fails, then they're screwed.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like, what are they going to do if Call of Duty ever starts like going downhill? Like,
and there's already
they have nothing.
there's already rumors that the Call of Duty for this year isn't going well according to their plan already. So it's like that's
Well,
not
yeah,
great.
this is why they've had to have this is the fourth studio this is just on Warzone, right? The fourth studio that's had to work on Warzone with Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Raven, and now Toys for Bob. And then Warzone's big for them, and then Vanguard is not going well either. So, probably because, work from home is not really great for a game like Call of Duty, I'm sure. But it's just like, still, you're putting all of your
Eggs in one
peas in
basket.
one pod, eggs in one basket, whatever saying you want to, put out there. And, man, this is eventually going to bite them in the butt really hard.
Good.
And then they'll bring back Guitar Hero for a second time.
Oh, don't. Just, they should just let whoever it is that owns, Harmonix is indie again, like, let Harmonix buy it for, like, nothing, and they can have both of them or something. I don't know, stop it. I mean,
maybe they could just do something completely new and shock the world. They have the money. I mean, look they're paying Bobby No Good Guy all this money for nothing.
Yeah. He takes a 50% pay cut, he still makes his same salary. So.
And he wouldn't have got that pay cut if what he was making didn't go viral and everybody's like, wait, what? This is ridiculous.
Well, that's what's stupid though. He can still make a bonus that would make it to where he still makes the same salary, so it doesn't really matter.
So you're running the company into the ground and you're getting paid for doing it.
Yeah,
it's just so weird how the Western Eastern philosophies are different. Because if it was over in Japan, they would be like, all right, I'm taking a pay cut and I'm going to leave. He's like,
yeah. Well, I'm going to resign
here
out of shame. It's like, I don't understand how you take Tony Hawk. You had the game, the company, the developer that made Tony Hawk Remaster Remake. It sold a crap ton. It got awards. Crash 4 sells a crap ton. Your highest selling Crash games are made from Toys for Bob.
Go work on these other
Spyro.
games that we push out every year now. Good job, guys.
It's like, come on. Like, you couldn't have had them come up with their own. I mean, if you're not going to make Spyro 4, fine. Like, make them come up with their own IP. Like, come on. Like,
but that's the problem with companies like that. Activision is a great example. They work on games that they know will sell. They don't care if they're good or not. They know they will sell, and they will keep pumping them out over and over and over. And this is one of the reasons why Bungie was like, you know what, we got to get Destiny away from these guys because they're ruining the game. Not to say Bungie's doing a great job by themselves, but they did eventually get it away, and they did some good things. When you look at Activision right now, I mean, literally look at Activision right now. Name 5 games that Activision does.
There's like 4 different Call of Duty games.
Well, see,
yeah.
And then WoW.
And that's the thing. It's Call of Duty. WoW.
You have to mention Blizzard. That's it, because it's Call of Duty and Blizzard.
I mean, you had Crash Bandicoot and Tony Hawk, but they're gone now. So yeah, it's literally, if you look at the history of all the games that they sell, it's literally Call of Duty, Crash, Skylanders, Call of Duty, Destiny, Call of Duty, now World of Warcraft, Call of Duty.
They made that deal with FromSoft to get Sekiro.
Yeah, but they published it. They published it. They published it. So that was it. I don't even count that because they published it. So
it's weird, but they did that one time and then they don't do it again. Like, it's like,
I don't even know how they got that deal. I was like, wait, what? It's not Bandai Namco. It's Activision. How did this happen?
Like, how did Sony not put up some money for that too?
Oh, because that was multi-platform from the start. Sony wouldn't have touched that. True.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird.
It's all just like, man, you can't trust anything they put out, and it's just, I'm waiting for the day where I hate to say it, like, I know there's a lot of Call of Duty fans. I know there's a lot of those folks out there that just love that game. There's nothing against that game. Those games should exist, but it's like, when you become a juggernaut for one title and that's all you do, there's something where seeing it fail, if it doesn't wake up something in Activision, they deserve to go down at that point.
I wouldn't even say juggernaut, because I'll bring the Dark Souls and the Soulsborne games into that argument. It's when you become a juggernaut and you just don't care about your product.
Yeah.
They just pump out game after game after game. Sometimes the Call of Duties aren't very good. Sometimes they're incomplete. They charge you extra money for stuff that should have been in the game from the get-go, and people buy it up. And it's like, guys, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you buying this game? This is an incomplete game. Oh, it's the best game ever. Stop doing it. But it's the best game ever. Okay. It's the same crap that EA does with Madden.
Yeah.
Or all sports franchises.
It becomes a habit. You just don't know what else to.
At least Ubisoft games, they are different enough, kind of, to make it worthwhile, or at least long enough.
I mean, at least they're all their own. Like, yes, they might have a lot of the same aesthetics, right? The same mechanics, but they all are their own franchises. You know, so yes, they're all you do a lot of the same stuff, but at least they're all called something else, and they all take their time to make them now. Like they've learned their lessons, right? It's not like Activision where it's just like, I wonder if they could ever take a year off of Call of Duty because that's like the only thing that you do.
No. Yeah. And also they even have studios pumping those games out that they'll never take a year off again. Yeah,
because they alternate studios, so it's like, hey, all right, you do it this year, now you do it next year, you do it the following year.
I mean, they have like 3 master studios, like Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward, and then they have like 2 to 3 studios co-developing those games along with them that are all different, like Raven and now Toys for Bob and all these other studios that don't matter.
Damn, that Toys for Bob really hurts. That really hurts, man.
Like, you know, there's just opportunity there, but whatever. They decided not to do it, so. And I don't want to be wishful and say, oh well, whenever they get done with Call of Duty, they'll put them back on that.
Probably they're not going to do it.
They're never going to be. Well, A, they'll never be done with Call of Duty, but also B, what if this is just going to be entry point to a kid-friendly Call of Duty game?
Dear God.
Oh no,
that's just a nightmare.
What are you going to do? Like, is Splatoon of Activision?
Yeah, instead of rocket launchers, it's like slingshots and potato guns or something like that.
No, it's not. I hope not. Well, I mean, we go from something that I guess you could say is unexpected considering it's Activision to something that's surprising considering it's IO Interactive, and they already have 2 other games that they're knee deep in at this point. With Hitman 3 that they're supporting, and they're making that 007 game. Well, lo and behold, we find out why they were making that 3rd studio in Barcelona for. According to Windows Central, it's a dragon-themed IP with Microsoft.
Scalebound Return, motherfuckers.
And there we go.
It is not anything to do with Scalebound, apparently.
Yeah, but when the news came out, as all people kept saying, hey, Scalebound. Like, no, just let it die.
I love, like, Yes was like, he finally had to put like that Simpsons meme of it is not Scalebound, it's not Scalebound. It's like, so people could shut up. But, I mean, yes, technically they're working on, you know, the next Elder Scrolls. They have Avowed, which could be in that same realm. But
I can't wait for Avowed. Oh, I cannot wait for that game. It looks so good. What we saw anyway.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get to see more at E3, you know, but I would hope that they have a little bit more to show, but we'll definitely see if they do. Any like ideas? Do you think it's another one of these big open world RPG things, or a smaller game about dragons? Or
the problem with that is it's so massive it could be anything. Yeah.
They bought Spyro off Activision. They're making that game instead.
It's just so weird. I mean, like I said, it could be anything. It could be anything. It literally could be anything. I will say this: I'm glad to see Microsoft actually using their money and saying we need to make more games for our stuff. So yeah, this could be anything. It could be a freaking dragon racing game. It could be a dragon action game. It could be anything with dragons. So I'm not even going to try and speculate. I'm just going to wait to see what they show us.
Well, I'm glad that, like you said too, they're using their money for that. I mean, this is way down the line, though, so this is another one of those, like, well, we'll see whenever the heck this is going to come out. But hopefully E3 will start seeing release dates for some of these things.
I have a sinking feeling it's going to be more like when Microsoft cancels it.
Oh, no.
I don't think so. I think since we've really gotten into this, like, where they're doing Game Pass and everything, have they really canceled anything?
No.
Yeah, so I think, like, they're really, Microsoft's kind of really putting their weight behind
They really need to
Xbox at this point. So
an actual explanation as to what exactly happened to Scalebound needs to come out so people can just stop asking about it.
Oh, that and Phantom Dust.
Yeah.
Oh, we know Phantom Dust. That was.
It's so funny to look at that back at that E3 press conference, 2014. Like they had 5 or 6 games and none of them actually came out.
Technically, Phantom Dust came out. It was just a really bad.
No, they were gonna completely remake Phantom Dust also. They had the quick and easy remaster, but then we're remaking it as well, and that's when they got crushed out.
Yep, never happened. Good thing Microsoft has moved on from those days, and even further going into now they want to take a little bit from Epic and decide that they want to do something for the PC. They've already talked. We talked about last week, or I think it was last week, that they want to remodel the Microsoft Store. Well, they're not just remodeling the Microsoft Store for apps and stuff. They're pushing their cut that they take to 12%, just like Epic. And they're really trying to promote getting people to put games on their platform again, which we really haven't, seen a lot of. You don't hear people going, I'm putting my game on the Microsoft Store.
Because no one cares.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Go ahead. You go ahead. I'll say what I was going to say afterwards.
No one cares, and also their store sucks.
Yeah.
Or the whole Windows 10 store.
Well, I mean, this is why you're trying to change it, right?
You should have waited.
Trying to they try to get into Beam, against Twitch. It's like that Mixer crap. It's it's too late. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourselves.
So this is weird. I'm really tired of people trying to devalue what exactly Steam affords people, because it's a whole lot of stuff. It's not just the storefront, it's the services, it's the API, it's the anti-cheat services, it's the dedicated servers, it's a bunch of stuff that Valve provides people. There was even a thing earlier yesterday that there was another lawsuit against Valve because they're like, Valve has a monopoly. And
I put that story in here. Yep.
It's like Valve is not telling people to put their games on Steam. People are putting their games on Steam because Steam is where everybody wants to put their stuff. Valve is not saying you got to put your stuff on here so it'll sell. You can make your own storefront. You can take it to Epic Games, which may or may not take it because they're very iffy about what they take and put on their store. You can go to GOG, you can go to Ichigo, you can go wherever you want to go. Valve is not saying put your crap on Steam, but they are saying if you do put it on Steam, there's a good chance you're going to get it in more people's perspective, more people's eyes. So that needs to stop. As far as the nonsense with Epic Games offering a lower take and Microsoft offering a lower take, think about that for a second. In the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of PC gaming, Microsoft and Epic Games Store are caged and are animals backed into a corner. Microsoft Store sucks. It's terrible. It still needs work. I've heard the rumors about them revamping it. What they should have did is revamped it first and then offered the cut. Epic Games Store has been doing nothing but throwing money at the Epic Games Store. They've already said they've lost countless amounts of dollars trying to fight and compete against Steam. Steam's like, I don't care. I'm going to take my cut. You guys are going to put your stuff on here. Your stuff's going to sell. And we'll call it a day. We have the biggest feature set out there right now. And if you don't want to put your games on here, if you don't want to pay us 30%, then don't put it on here. We're not going to twist your arm and twist your legs.
I have to wonder how much. Microsoft just put some Xbox games on Steam.
And that's the other thing. Yep.
And it's you have to wonder how much better those sold on Steam than they ever did on Microsoft Storefront.
Well, yeah, definitely you're going to sell on Steam well because you already have all your games there. So now it's like,
I'm pissed I bought Forza Horizon 4 on the Windows storefront.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's like, well, great. Now, it's still the same version, but it's not on Steam. I didn't get a code for it, which would have been really helpful and nice. So, if you bought it on Windows 10, screw off. I still have old ass games for Windows Live PC games like Viva Pinata and Gears of War 1 that are long abandoned. Because Microsoft doesn't care about PC gaming ever. And all their half-hearted attempts always fail.
So that's the other equation, part of the equation here. So they want to offer this price cut, this percentage cut, right? They want to revamp their game store. But they started putting all their games onto Steam. Now, that seems kind of very counterproductive. So what are you telling me down the road that they're going to put this new game store up and they're going to go, all right, we're not putting games on Steam anymore? Which kind of seems like shooting yourself in the foot.
I don't think they're not going to do that because...
Right now, you're fighting two battles. Then. You're literally doing two things. Then it's make up your mind.
I think it's more about, okay, we're going to revamp the store to see if we can get people to put stuff on our store and just make money. Like extra money, and you're still putting your games on Steam, still putting them on the store, on your Microsoft store, or whatever. It's not necessarily about becoming the all-in-one thing. They're not trying to do what Epic's doing, I don't think. They're not really, I don't feel like they're trying to really compete with Steam. I think it's just, well, we have this thing. We have PC Game Pass, right? We're trying to improve PC Game Pass as well, which is another one of the things that people really complain about in that. And, you know, I think you said it, you had your own podcast about it, why a lot of games don't just come to Microsoft Game Pass because they don't want to mess with what they have with Steam and Epic already. So, but they can improve this in different ways, and if they improve the store and improve that and have all the stuff that makes it look better, I think you may get more developers, maybe not exclusives per se, right, like what Epic's doing, but you just get people making and putting stuff on that store, and it's just money that's there that you're getting.
What developer is going to put their games in the Windows storefront if it costs them like more energy or more money to do it?
It costs them less money now. They're getting more money out of putting games on the store.
I mean, and theoretically, it would cost them money to put it on the storefront, just like as not part of Steam or whatever. I mean, just the different API or whatever. So would they make that? Would they even make that money back?
Well, that's changing. That's supposed to change with the new store, so it'll be native.
Sure, but I mean, I just mean from like the development process itself, but also like between the Windows storefront and Steam, like even if it's the same, even if it was like $5 or $10 less, where would you rather buy a game?
Exactly. I can't see any compelling reason to put my games in a Microsoft store. There's like literally none unless you're part of Game Pass. There's no reason for me to do that. I'll get the same returns on Steam. Just I'm going to have a little more percentage taken out with a storefront that has been proven.
Yeah, even with their 30% cut, being on Steam means people are going to
see your stuff. Microsoft already has a really bad stigma with their store, to the point where people are constantly complaining about games don't install properly, they don't uninstall properly, and they're tired of it. So when they were like, "Hey, we're bringing our games to Steam," everybody's like, "Thank God." When Forza came to Steam, everybody's like, "Yes, finally, it's on Steam," and it sold exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No discounts, full price, and it sold years later. So there's no argument that people want their games in one place and on a storefront that works. So I don't know what Microsoft's trying to do here. I mean, I know what they're trying to do, but it's the you're way past this time. You should have did this crap a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, unless I just don't see them wasting the time to do the stuff that Epic's doing. Of like giving free games away.
Oh God, no!
Like doing all that stuff. It's like
unless it's
you
like
already have Game Pass.
Well, unless it's like their own games. Like, hey, if you want to play Yaris on the PC, here you go.
But they're not even doing that because they're making you. Well, they're not making you, but Game Pass, so you get them free.
Yeah.
What? Can I just stop this conversation for a second and just be really angry at this whole thing? And go, I hate Epic for what they're doing. I hate how they're so hypocritical about saying certain things and then turn on doing something completely different. And I hate the fact that we have an open system, an open platform here, and we have storefronts that have exclusive games.
Yep.
Storefronts.
Yep. Like, I mean, that is so stupid.
Not just some, a lot.
I don't know about you, but I'm occasionally offered like Epic like review codes for games, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll wait for it to come on Steam a year later if I care. Like, I don't like that notion that I can only play it on the Epic storefront. It's like, screw off.
I take them regardless because we never know if they're going to come to Steam, or if they do come to Steam, when exactly is it coming to Steam.
Well, and if it's a big game, like, you kind of got to take it.
Yeah, Metro Exodus and MechWarrior 5 is like, yeah, I'm kind of going to play it. So it's funny because now we're getting offered a code for Metro Exodus again on Steam. And it's like, but like, I played this on Epic already. All right, whatever, fine, it's fine. It's cool. Yeah, this is dumb. This needs to go away. This needs to stop.
But it will never stop, at least for Epic, because it's the only way to get people on their platform.
Yeah. Yep, it's the only two. Like, I literally don't ever open that store unless it's like, oh, there's a free game that I kind of like.
I got a buddy that won't even do that. He's like, I don't care if they're free. I'm not touching it.
That's me. Yeah, I'm also that way. The only game, I have an Epic account. The only game I have is Shadow Complex, because that was before all this bullshit started and they gave it for free. I'm like, all right, that's fine. But then when it came to Steam, I'm like, all right, I'll buy that also, because I'd rather buy it on Steam than have it on Epic.
And I know this is not a ragging contest on Epic, but when they're taking games that used to be available on Steam and taking them over to Epic and go, oh, well, you can't get on Steam anymore. See ya, Rocket League.
Yeah, they're buying these studios. Right?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
The same thing will happen to Fall Guys, even though they say it's not.
Yep, no, it's definitely going to happen. They're full of crap. If they're saying it's not, they're full of crap. They said the same thing in Rocket League. Nothing's going to change, but
a year later,
changed everything.
Yeah, why are you gonna let Steam keep making sales on your games that you now own? So
because you're still making money. You're making money off of it. What does it matter? I don't understand.
I agree with you there, but I guess that's Epic's thought of like, well, we want all the money for ourselves. Blah. It's the same. It's the same as this Wolfire Games thing.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. Yeah,
it's like why are you're really complaining about Steam has a monopoly, all this junk that you're saying that they cost for you to put it on there, and it's like, and they can charge high retail prices. Like, really, Steam has sales constantly.
And again, you don't have to put it on Steam. Good luck. Put it wherever you want to put it. Good luck.
Yeah, put it on itch.io or on GOG or.
The guy suing them is like Wolfire Games. They're the humble guys. They're the humble developers.
Yeah.
And it's like, what would happen if Steam said, okay, no more humble games on Steam, or no more keys? Humble would dry up instantly because no one else would use that service.
Yeah, and then they just changed the humble thing. Yeah, you can only pay so much for a charity.
The charity cut is only 15% max now, and it's like, yeah, that's real charitable, guys.
I mean, okay, here's the thing with that. Like, I think that they shouldn't remove the sliders, but at some point, that thing's got to make money, or you can't be just giving that stuff away for free either.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily blame Ziff Davis for the change necessarily, but you could have left it given a little bit more different avenue. That percentage could be a little bit higher or anything to give to charity. But
I mean, I look at this Wolfire thing as the same internet slap fight between Apple and Epic, and how Apple is going to beat Epic down so hard.
I don't know, because there's other company now. Spotify's getting into it with them, and and the government's already talked to Apple about their store. And
the funny thing about this is it is Apple's ecosystem. They are with every right to say, you know what? No, you don't want to play by our rules. Stay off our stuff. It's that simple. Yeah. The government has no right to come and tell Apple, allow Epic Games to do what they want on your ecosystem. No, that's not how it works, buddy. I mean, either play by my rules or get off.
That's the same thing as Valve and Wolfire. Like, hey, it's like, okay, if you don't want to give us 30%, have fun at itch.io selling 2 copies to people.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, the 30% thing's silly because it's like everybody charges 30% except Epic. So
that's the funny thing is, like, there's a story about like how Fortnite, their most profitable platform is the PlayStation 4 by like a wide margin. It's like almost damn near 50%, and it's like I think iOS is only like 7% or 8%.
I think it's like 9% or something.
And it's like, why does Epic care about iOS then? Really? Like,
because they're the mobile leader.
Yeah, but if it's still only 10% and PlayStation is 50% and they still take 30%, I mean, come on. I mean, they could try.
Does PlayStation let them do their V-Bucks thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where Sony doesn't take a cut of every time you buy something?
I have no idea, actually.
Yeah, because I know Microsoft had done it to where they don't, even though they don't let them be on the cloud.
I think Sony might, because they said, or Apple said, or I think it was Apple said that every other company does it too. So
yeah, I mean,
for transaction purposes, like 30% is like the norm. So
yeah, their thing with Apple just seems they're trying to start a fight for other people.
Yeah,
necessarily more than them, and they're not going to win.
Yeah, that's the thing is that they'll lose. So
I mean, good if they want to waste their money that way.
I just like the commercials they were making to try and paint Apple as the bad guys. Like, well, you actually started this.
Yeah, the whole like 1984 commercial. It's like you idiots. Yeah, we all know how small company Epic is.
Well, let's go from one big company to another big company, or two big companies for a second. So, which is the weirder thing? Super Mario Party getting updated after 2 years of nothing to have online play, or Google Stadia somehow didn't have a search bar.
The later.
Yeah, that's the more funny part.
It's this is what's weird is like.
Then again, I can see Google's position because if they only got like 30 games in the platform, who cares?
Yeah.
But why do you need to search between Mortal Kombat and like the Division 2 or something? It's like they're on the same page, so.
It's true, but it's still funny that like you're Google and you don't have a search bar and
you are the pioneers of search engines. You don't have a search bar on your own system. Yep, I thought that was hilarious. I was like, no, I don't have Stadia. I had Stadia when it first came out. I reviewed it.
Oh, so you're the one.
I reviewed it and I was like, this is not ready for prime time. Give me back my money. Take this. Thank you. And yeah, here we go.
I see a lot of people that like say, now that cloud beta is out, which I've been using it and Second Extinction works pretty well on it. But like, well, that's the one game I've been playing mostly with it. That game is way more for co-op than it is for single player. Good Lord. They need to put a patch in to make that work better for single player. But either way, that's a different topic. That Stadia's technology works pretty well.
It does. It works very well, and I think it should be in the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing, because Google has no clue. It's been pretty apparent that they don't know what they're doing.
So why do you say that? Just because of the tiers, or just?
No, just because how they're handling their system. They put together their own development studio to pump out exclusive games for Stadia, and we got one game, and then they shuttered it. Again, nobody is going to want to buy games on Stadia that are available everywhere else.
Yep.
That makes no sense. That's not why I'm buying this. Okay, I get it. There are some people out there who don't want to have a console. Okay, great. Or a PC. Fantastic. Those very small majority of people,
minority,
are a drop in the bucket. It's insignificant. Yep. If you're going to give me a option to pick up Doom Eternal on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, or Stadia, it ain't going to be Stadia. For obvious reasons, for the latency, for the downgrading graphic times, it doesn't make any sense. So they needed something that would take advantage of the latency, take advantage of it being only available on Stadia, and maybe take advantage of what Stadia offers. And they did nothing. So they wasted all that money on all these people, and then, hey, you're fired. Goodbye. For what? For literally nothing. It goes to show you that Google wanted to get into the gaming race, had no idea what they were doing, wanted to cut their losses, and now just going to companies, hey, put your game on Stadia. Hey, put your game on Stadia. To their credit, they've gotten a lot more third-party games on there than they have in a while. But again, same games you can get everywhere else. Why do I want it? It makes no sense. So
I just don't trust that they wouldn't eventually take the store down.
Oh, that'll be within 5 years.
And then, what do you do then?
Then you're screwed.
You lost all that money. You lost everything that you purchased. All you leased is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, or they'll turn it into you've got to get the Google Plus or the Google One thing to keep your games or whatever. They'll tie it to a subscription that you have to pay.
The problem with this is if Stadia ever goes away, what are you going to play them on?
Yeah, and that too. Are they going to make it to where you can? Are they going to give you a code to play it on the PC?
I don't know. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. When you buy games on digital media, this is the feature of gaming, and there is some consequences with that. There's a bit of uncertainty as to what's going to happen. I mean, if Steam ever goes down, Valve did say they have a backup plan.
Yeah.
So they know in the case that it hits the fan, we know what we have to do. Stadia is Google's I mean, their buying system, the way that you bought games. If you buy a game on Xbox, you play the game on Xbox, and you can play most of the games on PC, Xbox, anywhere, or Game Pass. If you buy a game on Google Stadia, it is tied to Google Stadia, and if Google Stadia goes bye-bye, there goes your game.
Yep, because there's no console to physically put it on. There's
nothing.
Unless they're somehow tied to the Chrome browser, which they apparently you can now play it on. I think the browser starting this week or next week or whatever. But I think that would be the only way. They'd have to tie it to your Chrome browser, and you can play it through there.
I mean, what they should do is just say, hey, you bought Mortal Kombat and Doom on Stadia. Or Steam, we're going to buy Steam codes or Steam versions.
They're not going to do that. That's costing them more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Well, they should do that when Stadia goes down. But also, it wouldn't cost them that much money because, I mean, how many Stadia users are there?
And I love the fact that you say when it goes down, because I think everybody is in that same boat that we know that it's not going to stay up. We know it's coming down.
I feel bad for the people that, it's crazy sometimes when you see things about Stadia and I'm just like, I cannot believe Stadia has super fans, but cool, whatever. But like there are some people that are just crazy about like
there are.
They really want that
on top
thing
of that,
to work, and I'm just like, you guys don't see it. You guys don't see it.
You should direct them to the GameTap website. I don't know how well that went for them.
It's like Google and Amazon are still in that same boat of, well, we got into the game industry and then
didn't have a clue to do.
No, we don't know what we're doing here. So it's like, what was it? Stadia made that deal with, I forgot which company, to bring their app to TVs. And I was like, I can't wait till Microsoft puts their thing on a TV and nobody will ever care about whether Stadia's on a TV again or not. It's like, dude, why are you charging me $10 to play all these games? I could pay $5 more and play a heck of a lot more bigger library on anything I freaking own. It's, they're kind of like treading water. It's crazy that I can't believe Sega chose Stadia Google must have paid them a bunch of money not to put that game on PC.
Judgment, yeah,
like, man, that's just weird. But it is what it is.
Well, there's some like Judgment website that's like counting down, and that's probably going to be tied to like the Judgment Steam or Epic announcement.
Yeah, or possibly like it going into Game Pass or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Since all the other Yakuza games are there, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
So, did y'all see this? I mean, it feels like Sony's just been making announcements constantly lately. They have now said they're going to spend $183 million this year on its studios, with partnerships with Haven and Firewalk, to making more of the third-party partnerships and investing in their own studios. Like, they announced the Firewalk thing last week, so we know they're making a multiplayer shooter, which they don't really have a lot of. Is there a game, or I guess genre, do you feel like, okay, Sony, you're going to spend a bunch of money, do you feel like they really need to have, or have again, that they don't have right now?
Bring back Wipeout.
Legend of Dragoon 2.
Oh man, I would go nuts for a Legend of Dragoon 2 if they did that. But yeah, I mean, they just have all these partnerships with Square now, so like they don't really need to do that.
Yeah,
plus
but
they have
those
Atlas.
aren't like their traditional turn-based RPGs either.
No, but I mean, I agree with you. Like, I'd love for that to happen, but I just I don't know. I think they do need.
Wipeout would be nice, but I've never been good at that game. I just like it for the soundtrack.
I love Wipeout because we talked about like I really want F-Zero to come back, and like that's the closest thing that
I've been banging on that door for years.
I was a bigger Roll Cage fan myself, but at least that actually did come back.
Yeah, that spiritual successor is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I do think they need like obviously Resistance is not going to come back, but they do need like a game like in the Resistance mold. I feel like that's the one game that I think Microsoft really has on them, as they have so many different.
Microsoft has a better driving game than them.
Well, that too, but they already have Gran Turismo, so like, do they really need to?
No, I said a better driving game, like an actual good one would be nice.
I mean, they could make their own like arcade.
Remember Drive Club?
Oh, I love that game.
You like that game?
Yeah, I did actually. It was a rough start, but it got better over time.
See, Mark? See, there's
again, you're the one, huh?
I think a lot of people actually like that game. It's just it was just really bad how PlayStation treated Evolution Studios. Like, we don't need you anymore. Goodbye. Because before that, they also gave them the MotorStorm games, and those were good as well.
Yeah, those were good.
But you got to remember, when you say they don't need to have more than one game. At one point, PlayStation had Gran Turismo, Ridge Racer, and Wipeout before Ridge Racer went multi-studio or multi-platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that. Honestly, I don't think PlayStation needs more studios. They have enough. They literally have enough studios right now. They're doing a Me Too because Microsoft is buying up stuff. But Microsoft is only bolstering up their stuff because they're tired of people saying, you got no games. Okay, you want games? We'll show you games. Here you go. Here's games. Now,
here's games we're working on. I don't know when they're gonna come out, but
well, Sony should really just do what they should have done like 20 years ago and just buy Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and say, hey,
from Activision.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything with them anymore apparently. So say screw it, and it'd be a nice actual mascot for PlayStation again. And then you can get another PlayStation versus All Stars game.
Oh no,
Fighting All Stars, whatever the hell that thing was called.
All Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah, there you go. The fact I don't know the name of the game should tell you something right there.
Well, I mean, the fact that they only had was it 10 actual Sony characters, and then they had to throw in a bunch of third-party ones because they didn't have enough games at that point to even. It's weird because they didn't even have to make it that big. Like Smash started out with 8 characters.
No, I had 12.
Or 12, that's fair. But I'm just saying, like it didn't need to have this huge ass roster.
But that was going up against at least the third version of Smash. I mean, that had at least 40 characters probably in it. So that's why they felt they had to have a somewhat hot, decent roster. But it's like, well, no one cares about most of these characters.
Oh, fair enough there. So, with FIFA going to Game Pass this week, the other evil company on the American side of things, this is sort of like, this doesn't surprise me at all because like this story that got released from VGC about Electronic Arts. Oh, hey, everything in FIFA is built around Ultimate Team and leads you to Ultimate Team and wants you to be part of Ultimate Team. Like, I'm not that surprised at all that's what that is.
In other news, the sky is blue and water is wet.
IGN review, too much water.
Oh man, I feel bad for her. She went on to do localization now, so she don't have to deal with that. But yeah, no, it's like I'm sure that there are FIFA players that are very upset about that and everything. But listen, that's just how this game works. It's like it's up to you to not buy it.
I mean, isn't that how every sports game works nowadays? If it's like the big ones.
Yeah, Ultimate Team, I think that FIFA, it's just like really, really overloaded towards that, and that's their point. It's like compared to the other EA Sports games, it's not so much like leading you to play whatever the Madden equivalent is, where with like FIFA it is. So, that's the problem with that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Also, not surprising that Konami's not going to be at E3. Like, what are they doing besides Getsu Fumadin that's coming out? Like,
they just need to sell their IPs. Please, just do it. Or lease them out. God, I would kill for a new Castlevania or a new Contra.
No, not Contra. They fucked with that too much already.
Well, if they give it off,
I don't want them to do it. I want somebody else to do it. I mean, like the team that did Blazing Chrome did an amazing job. Give them the Contra IP. Let them have it.
I'm really hoping that rumor we talked about it, that they might have sold off or not sold off, but like leased out their IP to Microsoft or something. Like, I'm really hoping that's true, so we can get some of these games that they haven't made in years. Because, like, seriously, I get it that you don't want to be doing AAA. You're too worried about it, or that it's not going to sell.
I mean, they're not doing AAA. They're not doing anything. They're doing like PES, and they make crap out of a Bomberman game once in a while. That's about it.
Well, it's like that's like an American like indie thing that they're doing, right? With Getsu Fumadin and some of these like Skull, whatever the hell it was, Skullboy that they did. It's not Konami itself, right?
That's because Konami itself doesn't exist as a game company.
Yeah, it's so weird that they won't let anybody have their IP. They won't lease it out. They won't let like another company like why not just if you don't want to say okay, we're gonna give it to the American company, like why not just get with Sony and say, hey, we'll let you have Silent Hill, Contra, all this. How much do you want to give us?
But hey man, if they do that, they can't make pachinko machines out of Silent Hill. So
this is true.
You could work out some deal where they still get the rights to the Pachinko machine.
And then you just made it even worse by just mentioning Silent Hill. Just they have too many great IPs. They just need to give up.
And we're not even counting Metal Gear,
Or Suikoden.
Oh, Suikoden! Don't even get me started with that.
I mean,
yeah,
I guess
it's a shame.
The nice thing, I guess, to counter all this is like the people that were responsible for those franchises, like Koji Igarashi and the Suikoden people. They said screw it, and they're just making Kickstarter games, which are better than what Konami would make. I mean, that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night game was really great. A little buggy, but it was really great.
Yeah, I liked it.
Kojima went and made Death Stranding, so.
Well, that's 1 for 2, I guess.
Oh, I forgot you didn't like that game.
But I mean, like that Suikoden game, that spiritual successor, I forget what it's called, but like that looks good. I'll give that a shot when it comes out. I mean, hey, why not?
I mean, it's just weird. Like that should inspire Konami to say, "Oh, let's make these games again." Instead, it's just like not.
Yeah, but it's a lot like Capcom and like their old franchise. Like, I mean, you get a Mega Man game occasionally, but not like super often anymore. Or like Strider or Ghosts and Goblins, stuff like that. Like that's all pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Like Captain Commando, remember that? Or Bionic Commando. That was we made that like one 360 game, and that's about it.
I mean, as much as it's cool that E3 is getting a lot more companies involved this year, Konami not being there is not surprising at all.
I mean, he's like, when's the last time they were at E3? Does it make a difference?
Yeah.
They can't afford the plane ticket over there. That's the problem.
I mean, at this point, it's like when Sony and EA say that they're not going to be E3. It's like, well, we know already. That's just kind of the thing.
They will also have a game at their own conference. So that's why.
Yep, exactly. Or their own whatever their thing they're doing. So we've all watched this the new Mortal Kombat movie. I've watched it twice.
Why?
Just because I watched it whenever the next day it came out, so I kind of forgot some stuff. So I was like, I don't know how deep we're gonna get in this conversation.
The intricate plot of Mortal Kombat.
You know what's cool about that though? I went and watched the first movie again. I don't know why I made myself sit through Annihilation, and I read up. I watched videos of the lore and stuff just to see if they had even if they'd gotten what they had gotten totally wrong on that new movie. But okay, so I'm guessing both you guys didn't like it much. I know you had thoughts.
You can go get it. Go ahead if you want.
I've watched it 3 times now. Now, I watched it the first time just to go through it because we had a discussion about it over the Outerhaven. The second time, I just wanted to see certain fight scenes. And then the third time is my wife was like, oh, hey, Mortal Kombat, let's watch it. And I was like, do we have to? Like, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. All right, fine. And then we watched it, and she was like, oh, I didn't really care about this movie. It's like, yeah, that's why I didn't want to watch it. It was just, it's a Mortal Kombat movie. I mean, it looked good, but...
I thought it looked like garbage. That was actually my biggest complaint. I think it looks like complete trash from a cinematography standpoint. It's very flat looking. It looks like an Unreal Engine game. It's all brown and gray and shit. And it has occasional colors, like purple. That's very rare.
I gotta be honest, I could have did without a lot of the throwbacks to the game or the old movies, like flawless victory. Don't say that.
They did that in the first. They did that in the first movie too. I mean,
yeah, but it was a different time then. It was back then. It was associated with the game, and they wanted people to flock to the theaters to watch it because they played the game. I got that. We don't need that now.
I feel like that's the whole game is campy. It's it doesn't bother me. I feel like they weren't that awful. I mean, Kung Lao really did do a flawless victory. I mean, the whatever her name is didn't touch him at all.
Yeah.
And then he gets his soul sucked later on. Your soul was mine. Wait, what? You could have did that in the beginning. Just do that.
That was so weird. It was he didn't do that at all, and then he just randomly does it to prove that I guess he can do it. And then it's at least in the
fight, he just grabbed him.
Yeah, no, at least in the first movie, he did it because the dude lost. So it was a punishment for losing.
And you gotta think about it. This movie didn't even follow the actual traditional Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there's no Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there's no tournament.
I mean, there's no tournament in the first movie either.
Oh, there is. That's the whole point of it.
No, it's a tournament. Yeah.
Well, but they just fight. Like Liu Kang's just going through and fighting them in random
on the island.
On the island fighting. There's like the whole system is set up kind of. Like in this movie, it's like Shang Tsung is trying to like game the system or like cheat, and it's like, why? You already have 9 victories. Like,
because he's scared of. Like it's funny. He's like, these are your dudes.
All these inconsistencies. Like you got Shao Kahn, right? Or you got Shang Tsung, and you got Raiden, who's an elder god. It's like, why is Raiden afraid of him?
Because he can't do anything.
He literally said the elder guys don't care. So all right, I'm just gonna kick your butt and call it a day since they don't care.
Well, no, but he just said it. Like he says it later. Like elder gods are not allowed to interfere.
Yeah, but also Raiden isn't an elder god, so that's one problem.
Well, he is an elder god at that. Like he's the defender of the realm or whatever.
Yeah, he's like a minor god because like the elder gods are like higher, but that's immaterial to this. I thought like Sub-Zero's costume looked awful. Like it's not even blue.
I liked how Sub-Zero was this big guy, and everybody's like, "Oh, we got to team up to fight Sub-Zero." I was like, "Wait, he's really that much of a big deal now?" I don't ever remember this.
It'll be interesting in the second one when they have Sub-Zero's little brother be the good guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they kind of have to follow the lore there. So it's like the thing that bothered. I kind of like the movie mostly just because I thought it was fine. Like I liked the action scenes.
See, I liked elements of it. Like I liked Kano quite a bit. I liked Sonya. I liked a lot of the actors. And even like the writing was kind of okay, except for I didn't like Liu Kang at all. But like it just didn't come together for me at all. Like, or at least the way it should have. I mean, I thought the first movie was better, honestly, even though it was far campier and not as gory. But I don't really care about the gore.
Yeah, PG-13, they couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I don't care. I mean, it was cool that like the vampire lady got her head sawed in half. Like that was cool, but they didn't really do anything from like a story perspective. And all like the Arcana crap just like was like, what is this from?
Yeah.
They needed some story vehicle to state why they got there. I didn't like the I just hated the like Kano's made sense, right? Like I liked the way they did Kano's. He got mad and appeared or whatever, and like everybody else's was annoying.
I hated Jax's because it's like Jax's he got his arms ripped off and then he got like the crappy arms like bolted onto him, and then like his Arcana was like his crappy arms like transforming into like good arms, and I'm like, okay, well, what if he didn't get his arms ripped off? Like what would it be then?
Well, but it was more of like, okay, so because he had to save Sonya, his arms.
Yeah, he got like powerful. Yeah,
like it's like
forget
Cole
that.
had to save his family, so his thing shut. It's like, okay, like really?
Yeah, he looks like a bootleg from that Gods of Egypt movie.
Cole is a period. Like Cole, period. It was what bothered me. Like he seems so unnecessary to that entire movie. Like,
I mean, it should have been a Liu Kang movie.
That's why everybody was so mad. Everybody's like, who's this Cole guy and why is he in this movie?
Yeah, I had some guy on Twitter argue with me. He's like, oh, it's Johnny Cage. And I'm like, no, it's not. Because they literally show a fucking Johnny Cage poster at the end of the movie. Like, of course.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I get it if you don't want to have Johnny Cage in the first movie because you want to have some people to kind of get people excited about the next movie. But, like, it doesn't mean you need to make up an entire new character just to have a character that, we're seeing the world through his eyes as if you didn't understand what Mortal Kombat. Like, most people are not going to watch this movie not knowing what Mortal Kombat is. Like, you don't need that kind of character. So it's like, it's just stupid. And, like, okay, do you really need we need to have a descendant of Hashashi? Like, really? Do we need that? Like, no, it's, so.
That intro fight scene was really cool though with him.
The intro fight scene was really, that was the best part of the movie for me. That was really well done. And then, like, I like the one at the end with Scorpion and,
I like that until Scorpion started talking to him, and then I just busted out laughing because Scorpion's speaking Japanese, and like Cole is just like nodding along, and it's like I don't think Cole knows Japanese. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. So, like, yeah,
I like that in the movie though that the little girl, Cole's daughter, at least witnessed 2 people getting murdered right in front of her.
And then she just like doesn't say crap, and she's just like, "Oh, cool armor, Dad."
Yeah, it was not a good movie.
I mean, I think it's a somewhat passable movie aside from like the cinematography, but like as an adaptation, it's pretty lackluster. But then again, most of them are. So
we'll see. I guess what they do with a second movie is this. Like, you really couldn't have gotten anybody else to do that movie, to direct that movie. Like, somebody that, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if you guys have watched the, like, MK Legacy stuff. I feel like what they did with that, even if it's so low budget, felt better.
That guy, he did a lot of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes, like some of the better choreographed scenes from that, or fight sequences from that.
I just feel like what they did with the story for those and all that stuff felt more thought out than this movie. So
I liked parts of it, but it just did not come together in a cohesive enough movie for me. And it's funny because like Jens likes it, or he didn't mind it, and I was like, "Are you crazy?" But then again, he tilts the movie for 80% of the soundtrack, so that's all he cared about.
I mean, there wasn't much of a soundtrack.
Yeah, I thought it was a soundtrack
movie until
was very non-committal or very not. Who cares?
Until they played the original theme at the end, like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get to the, I guess, main topic here, anything else from this week that y'all want to talk about, or?
I want to try out that Castlevania game.
What, the Resurrection?
Yeah. Gotta dig up my old Dreamcast for that somewhere.
Oh, so you can actually download it to make it work on your Dreamcast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
burn
cool.
it to a CD and it'll boot right up.
Oh, this Dreamcast, the most pirate-friendly system ever made.
Yep. Such a nice little... We have these gigabyte discs. They'll never be cracked. Like two months later. It's like, oh.
Yep. I mean, that's how everybody usually feels, and then it's like, nope, we cracked that too.
The funny thing is, it's like, compared to, like, I mean, the Dreamcast, compared to, like, the Sega Saturn, which it got cracked eventually, but it took a long-ass time to do it. Like, the Dreamcast was, like, a year or two during the system. The Saturn was, like, 5 or 10 years after the system already was, like, dead.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I mean, that kind of that happened with a lot. Like, the PS1 had that happen to it as well.
Yeah, but the PS1, you need, like, a mod chip, or you need to actually, like, do shit to it to make it, like, piratable. Like, the Dreamcast is like, no, you can just burn any game to a CD and it'll run.
Yep, that's true too. But alright, so my idea was, since, Returnal came out, is, Housemarque is kind of thought of sometimes as I guess the used on and off again second party moniker, which is like a studio that makes a lot of like exclusive games for, one console, and then they eventually, sometimes they'll get bought, sometimes they don't. Like Housemarque, everybody keeps talking about like, well, Housemarque's going to be the next Sony acquisition or whatever, and who knows if that's going to happen if Returnal does well, and maybe they do. A lot of Sony studios started out that way. So my idea was, without including like timed exclusives or whatever, of doing like maybe your top 5 favorite Sony or PlayStation exclusives from studios like this. I'm not talking about like, Final Fantasy 7 Remake or anything like third party stuff, more like, things that Naughty Dog made before Sony owned them, or Insomniac, or all those kinds of things. So I don't know if either of you guys made a 5 or had any games that you really liked that fit into that, or
So I'm a little confused with the question.
Yeah.
So top 5 Sony exclusive games without what exception?
Like that they're not like timed exclusives. They wind up showing up on
so
Xbox
completely exclusive to Sony. Oh, well, yeah. I can rattle off a couple real quick. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Bloodborne. Bloodborne was my jam right there. God, Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted.
Loved Uncharted. Loved that series to death. Oh man, there's so many. Top 5.
Demon Souls for you,
I like Demon Souls, but Demon Souls wasn't my. It wouldn't make it into my top 5.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, close but not close. I mean, Bloodborne spanks Demon Souls any day of the week. Any day of the week, hands down. I would say the Ridge Racer games, but eventually they did make it to other platforms, so I guess that doesn't count. There was an arcade game, fighting robot game called Zero Divide that was exclusive to the PlayStation 1. and I loved it. I played that game every day. The fighting was fun. The music was amazing. It was a sleeper game that nobody really played. Loved it.
Remember Bloody Roar?
Oh my God, yes.
And also, like Ridge Racer, it eventually came to other systems, but they were all bad.
The 64 one wasn't that bad. It was all right.
But like Ridge Racer 4, like that's like the pinnacle.
Yeah, Type 4 was amazing. That was.
Like with the Joy-Con.
Man. Oh, Tobo. Remember those games? Tobo number 1 and Tobo number 2 from Square Enix.
Back when I was just Squaresoft, I was.
That Inhinder, another Square game. Yep.
Yeah.
I want that. It's expensive now, but like Vagrant Story was good. Parasite Eve 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. The PlayStation has a huge catalog of amazing exclusive games. The PS1 and PS2 was pretty fantastic. Simply fantastic. It's like there was just so many games. You know, Twisted Metal. I want Twisted Metal to come back. Oh, I want it to come back so bad. Never gonna happen, but I want it back.
Bring back Jet Moto.
Warhawk, not that crappy one they came out with not too long ago.
Yeah.
That was like PS3, wasn't it? Like that was like, oh, it's gonna be an online game. It's like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
but the
surprised
first one was amazing.
when they did that Destruction All Stars, they didn't try to do it with Twisted Metal instead of doing it as a.
It's too kiddie.
I mean, I guess that's what they were going for. They were trying to get the Fortnite crowd and like Rocket League to go after that. But it's like, if you would have used Twisted Metal characters, I bet that would have gotten a lot more attention, I feel like. But
I like Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite of the
Quantic Dream games.
Of those Quantic Dream games, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked like going to Housemarque. Resogun was a fantastic game for me that I played a heck of a lot on. It launched on the PS3.
Resogun?
All right, launched on PS4. It was on
PS4.
Well, yeah. Like I played. That was my launch game of the PS4 for a while. I was playing that game. So,
yeah, I played that for a while too.
I saw it in a used store recently, and I already have a copy, but they had 3D Dot Game Hero for sale for like $100.
I mean, most of Housemarque's games were on PlayStation, with the exception of what?
Next Machina.
But no, there was another one that came on PC. There was one they made just for PC. What the hell was that game? Outland.
Oh, Outland, yeah. Outland was that's on 360 as well. Like I like Dead Nation from them a lot too.
Dead Nation was good. LA Nation was good. I enjoyed Matterfall. It didn't do as well as it should have. I think that was the game that in Next Mechanic that was like, all right, we're done with this.
Yeah, because I feel like Matterfall, like I played that a little bit and then I never heard people talking about it. Like at least Next Machina had like its moment where it was there, but man.
I even liked Super Stardust or like their Stardust games. Those are cool.
You know, I've never played that, but I hear people saying good things about that. I've never played it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those you can go get on the PS3.
Yeah, and now everybody keeps talking about it. I was like, maybe I should try and get it if I can.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe if Housemarque does well, Sony would think of like putting a collection of their games or something on for PS5.
I'm looking at Super Stardust. Looks like reminds me a lot of Geometry Wars.
Yeah, except it has like elemental attacks, or he has like a whole like good upgrade, like an actual upgrade system. And the obvious one is also Tokyo Jungle, because that wasn't exclusively first party developed.
Tokyo Jungle.
Yeah, Yen just spent a fair amount of money buying a physical copy of that game.
I don't blame him. Tokyo Jungle's well worth it.
I think at least $150.
Like for me, I think about like, well, I mentioned I love Sly, so like the first Sly for me is one of my favorite games of those before Insomniac got bought by Sony. The Until Dawn is also.
Yeah, I mentioned that. That was good.
Yeah, great.
For me, it'd be like it's an odd one and pretty independent or pretty unknown, but Tomba. I love that damn game.
Yeah, I think that's what you were trying to say before, right, Keith? Was the Tomba?
No, Tobo.
Okay,
yeah, Tobo's different. Tobo's like an RPG, I think, or like.
Okay.
So it's a RPG fighting game. It's interesting. But it was like one of the first fighting games that came out that ran at 60 frames per second. It was really good.
What was that one that Square made? Like that was Bushido Blade. That was it.
Yeah, Bushido Blade was awesome. One hit kills. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, what about Air Guys when it had Cloud fighting Sephiroth in a wrestling ring?
No.
That game's so bad.
I have that game. I love it. So
Put
it's
that
so
up
bad.
there.
It's
Put
good.
that up there with the bouncer. No thanks. I don't want that crap.
Man, when that game launched, I thought that game was good, and then I played it later, and I was like, why the hell did I ever think this game was good?
The secret best PS2 launch game was Fantavision.
That's the truth. Agree with that. Like for me, it's hard to argue that like Spider-Man isn't like number one because that game is so good.
I mean, they came out to later systems, but I was actually before it did, I'd say Kingdom Hearts.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's why I didn't. Kingdom Hearts because
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were pretty long-term Sony exclusive. Let's say that.
Yeah, I mean, I played so much out of Kingdom Hearts 1. I think I beat that game like 10 times. It's like one of those games I can put on and like I know everywhere I need to go, regardless of how long it is, just because I played it so many times. Yeah, I mean, like that's what's cool about this. I think people don't like. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, Sony needs to acquire this studio and this studio. It's like Sony does a really good job without having to necessarily acquire everything of having these studios that just want to work with them. Yeah. And I mean, that's I think a testament to them too. You know, like think about all those like Journey and all those little indie games as well that like they didn't necessarily have to buy that game company, but they did a lot for them.
I mean, I agree, but also, like we said earlier, I think like the PS1, PS2 era was like their sweet spot when it came to that type of stuff.
Yep.
PS1 in particular, like they cranked out a lot of like look at Square's output for like PS1 era compared to now. Like, there's no contest.
When the PlayStation came out, it was like everybody wanted to make a game for that console. Everybody.
It was like new. It was like, oh, and we can make games on a CD and make.
Well, I mean, it came out. You still had the Sega Saturn too, but the Sega Saturn was like, hey, and everybody's like, yeah, you dropped the ball, Sega.
And they botched that thing so bad.
Yep.
But I just can't like. I get like they were in desperation mode, but I can't think of why on earth would you just go to an E3 and be like, oh yeah, this isn't a game that's out right now. This is a freaking entire system.
Sega had a lot of issues. It was Sega Japan and Sega USA, Sega America not talking to each other and just doing dumb things. And there you go. Good job, guys. You done killed it. It's a shame.
Thankfully, it seems like for Nintendo and Sony, they learn from that and don't have these.
Don't do dumb shit.
Yeah, don't have those issues like going forward of like, okay, yeah, you need to communicate. Everybody needs to. So, yeah, that's it for this week, everyone. We'll definitely thank you so much, Keith, for being on. Always enjoy when you're on, man. You always have a lot to say, and I appreciate that.
I always have a lot to say. Maybe sometimes too much to say.
But that's good, though. That's good. At least, it shows that you're like passionate about that. So, I think anything you want to plug?
Nope, I am good. Only thing I'm going to plug is my brain into my pillow. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Mark?
Nope. Got more Returnal to play.
Nope. You got more. You're not going to go to sleep? You're going to play more Returnal? Okay.
Only 2 a.m. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I've been up since 4. I know when I walk out this room to go get my tea, that puppy's going to wake up and go, hey.
Oh, no, yeah. I have that same problem, man.
Let me go outside again. No, you're going to stay there.
Like, let me sleep. It's like, at least she's not waking me up at like 6 a.m. like she used to. But is yours waking you up really early?
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, all right, guys, let's go. And we're like, shut up. We want to go back to bed. Go get the dog. I don't want to get the dog.
How old is he?
3 months.
Okay, yeah, mine is 3 months too. What kind of dog is he?
He is a I'm gonna say it wrong. I always make my wife tell people. What kind of collie is he? Border collie.
A border. Okay. I love his eyes. He looks like he should be like in a video game himself.
Yeah, we're hoping it doesn't change colors. We're like, please stay blue.
He's like the rating of dogs.
He is so fucking bad. So bad.
Seriously, I have a bulldog pit bull, and she is terrible. She destroys everything.
And now
like,
he's
oh my
harassing.
God.
He's harassing our other dog. He's just like, leave me alone, pup. Just go away. But then he tried to take his bone the other day, and he's like, get the fuck off my bone. I was like, what?
Oh damn.
That's the first time we saw him do that. He
Yeah,
was not happy.
Protective about. No, I have a cat, and he's like, I think a year and something old, and they fight all the time. She chases him around, and he's scratched her face up. I don't know how much, I'm just like, good Lord. And then they go try to find each other, which is hilarious. I'm just like, you guys are ridiculous. Like, all y'all do is chase each other around, and y'all go find each other when y'all are sleeping. Like, what?
I still
whatever.
can't believe we have 2 dogs now. So that's just like, oh, jeez.
Well, at least when he gets older, how much older is the other dog?
Years. He's 8 years old. Years.
Yeah, at least that'll help, like, maybe they'll eventually, care about each other and keep them around,
And maybe they won't. I don't know. It's just, that's the plan. I was hoping they get along, but, the young guys, too energetic, and the old guys, like, just go away.
No. I don't want to do this right now. But all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. You can always hit subscribe at Video Games to the Max or enjoy that whole W2 network, and you'll get more. I think Mr. Radless reviewed it's funny, Jens and Randy reviewed the original Mortal Kombat movie last week. They reviewed it like a couple of days ago, and they reviewed like the motion picture soundtrack the day after. And then Jens and Randy are going to review the Mortal Kombat movie, the new one, this week. And you'll get our sports stuff because the draft is happening, or just second, third rounds of the draft just finished today. So the kickoff guys will be talking about that as well. And we'll be back next week. I will have my review up. I have it ready. I have half it written. I got to freaking finish posting that Retromania review, and then I will figure out whatever I'm going to review next. And see y'all later, everybody.
Later.
See it.